A few years ago, I started doing something unusual. I began adding a little reminders besides people's name in my phone. Beside one name, see goodness. Beside another, be patient. Beside another, appreciate her. And beside my husband's name, listen more. Not because I did not love them, quite the opposite. I loved them enough to want to remember how they deserved to be treated, how they deserved to be heard, how they deserve my attention. Because I began noticing something about myself. While someone was speaking, I often already preparing my response, the next question, the next thought, the next thing I did not want to forget. Sometimes I was so passionate about the conversation that I was already halfway into my answer before the other person had fully finished speaking. And yet, what I truly wanted was not to have the last word. I wanted to understand the person in front of me. I wanted them to feel heard. I wanted to connect with them. And that requires something I did not naturally process. Silence, waiting, listening. One morning, YaHUaH woke me up before dawn. I prayed. I waited. Nothing. Another morning, the same thing. And another. At first, I thought I was waiting for an answer. Looking back, I wonder if YaHUaH was waiting for something from me. Not another question, not another request, not another explanation, just my attention, just my presence, just my willingness to remain. Because how often do we come before YaHUaH the same way we come before people, with our next request already prepared, our next question, our next concern, our next answer. Yet all the while, the wisdom we seek is waiting in the silence. And eventually I realized the lesson was not speaking. The lesson was listening. The lesson was remaining. And perhaps this is why Scripture speaks so often about waiting. Not because YaHUaH is withholding His voice, not because He is distant, not because He has forgotten us, but because waiting teaching us to listen, to remain, to stop rehearsing our own answers long enough to hear His. I used to think the greatest challenge was finding the right words to say. Now I wonder if the greater challenge is learning to be still enough to hear, still enough to notice, still enough to receive. Because the wisdom I seek is not found in speaking more. It is found in drawing near and listening. He awakens morning by morning. He awakens my ear to hear as the learned. And perhaps today, achoti, the answer you have been seeking is not found in another question. Perhaps it is waiting in a silence. Perhaps YaHUaH has already begun speaking, and all that remains is to stay long enough to hear. B'Shem YaHUaH HaMashiach. Shalom achoti.